What are you most excited for in the Crown Tundra? The answer may surprise you. Wait, that doesn't make any sense because you already know what you want. Well, I put out a poll asking you guys what you're most excited for in the Crown Tundra, and the answers sure as hell surprised me. Also, let's give this a little refresh to see where we are right now, and hasn't really changed too much. So it looks like the difference between 250 people and 1,100 people isn't really that much. Yeah, most people are excited for the story in the Crown Tundra. I also have competitive, exploration, Dynamax Adventures, other, and then like comment down below for others. So we can go through the comments, we can go through what's going on. But I'm very surprised that story is number 1. Because when it comes to the games, the story doesn't really matter that much. It's like 5 to 10% of the game's content, and then everything else is going to be in the post-game and competitive. We saw this with the Isle of Armor. The Isle of Armor is like 2 hours of story, and then dozens of hours of post-game content, just exploring the island, getting all the quality of life, all the new features, and then you can push that over 100 hours of gameplay in just the Isle of Armor once you add in competitive. And the funny thing is, the biggest complaint from Pokemon fans right now is that the story isn't good enough in modern Pokemon games. So it almost feels like this vote is more about hope that the story is going to be good instead of excitement about a known quantity, like what we've seen from the Exploration, Dynamax Adventures, competitive, or other things. Now I'm also wondering, how many of these people know about the data mine? Because I'll post information about the data mine, and every video I'm getting a lot of people that are surprised by all the information from it, like they've never heard of it before, even though we already know about these storylines that are going to be in the Crown Tundra. So that's kind of the interesting thing. We do know the story is going to be better than the Isle of Armor, and quite a bit spicier, because there's going to be 4 story arcs, and they all sound entertaining. That we have Legendary Bird story, we've seen that in the trailer. We have Reggie's, we have Ultra Beast, and then we also have the Calyrex storyline. And they're going to have like 2 other Pokemon fusions and all kinds of weird things. So the story actually looks like it's going to be pretty good. But again, I don't know how many people are like going into this like, oh man, I can't wait for that Ultra Beast arc, or yo, those legendary birds are hype, the story's gonna be awesome. Or if it's more like, instead of being excited for what we know about the story, they're just hoping it's good from what we've seen from the trailers and they don't know anything else. It's really weird like that. And we kind of see that on one of the top comments. Please make a good story this time. Then why are you voting story if you don't know it's going to be good? I wouldn't be excited about something I'm concerned with. That I'm begging it to be good, that doesn't make me excited. And then number 2 confuses me as well, because the biggest complaint about the Isle of Armor was that there wasn't enough to do, even though it was loaded with tons of new features and gameplay elements. So people just completely ignored that, yet we have a lot of people that are really excited for the exploration in the Crown Tundra, even though there's going to be less to do than the Isle of Armor, because it's going to be a larger area, but with less new Pokemon. So there's less to discover inside of that exploration, and doesn't really seem like there's going to be a lot of new items or features being added in because of what we know from the data mine. So it's just going to kind of be empty. And even though I love the Isle of Armor, even though I love the wild area, I'm not really holding out much hope for the exploration in the Crown Tundra from what we've seen. Like, yeah, maybe the Crown Tundra equivalent of Armorite Ore is really cool, and there's some new surprise features similar to the Cramomatic. Like, the Cramomatic is one of the greatest things ever introduced in Pokemon, and really elevates the Isle of Armor because it ties in all of your gameplay. But even if they have something like that in the Crown Tundra, it's still going to be a bigger space with less to do than what we saw in the Isle of Armor, and most of that exploration is going to be tied in with the story, because we also have the data mine leak of the map and all the locations that you can fly to, so there's going to be more fly locations, so it will feel not as like barren, empty, because navigating the Isle of Armor can be kind of tedious, since there's so few places to go to. But I mean, with all these stories, and with what we know about the map, it seems like a third of the Crown Tundra you're just going to visit once for the story and then have no reason to go back to. So I don't feel the exploration is going to be that great, and that brings me to Dynamax Adventures. I thought this was going to be number 1. I thought everyone was going to be most excited for legendary Pokemon raids. That's going to eclipse everything. Story doesn't matter. You rush the story, you get Calyrex, maybe there's some cool Ultra Beast stuff, and Reggie's like, yeah, the story is going to be cool. I too am looking forward to the Crown Tundra story, because a lot of this stuff sounds hype. but it's not the thing I'm most excited for. I'm also not most excited for Dynamax Adventures. Honestly, for me, it's competitive, but I thought that, the casual side were just gonna go, oh, legendary farming, give it to me, please, this is gonna be awesome, raiding legendaries with friends that we get to keep. And then that would also eclipse exploration, because you're there for the Dynamax Adventures. That's one of the biggest draws for the Crown Tundra. That of all the features we know, it's like, yeah, all the legendary Pokemon are coming back, and it's going to be epic, and you get to catch them, and now you just have them all consolidated in the modern Pokemon game. So that's going to be a pretty cool thing, but I'm wondering if just hacking has devalued legendaries that much to where people don't even care about the Dynamax Adventures. Like, well, doesn't matter, I can just get a full box of shiny ones off eBay for $5, or I can just go and Wonder Trade once this event comes out, and they're already immediately worthless because of Pokemon Home. And then since you can give them the battle mark and make Pokemon Home Pokemon usable in competitive, there kind of isn't a point. So it might be like a cool, fun feature, but there's effectively no value to it, and maybe that's why people don't like it, but I still thought the casual fans would get over that. They're not going to care, they're not going to acknowledge all of the massive cheating that is going on in Pokemon, because they get mad at me whenever I call out a full team of blatantly hacked shiny Pokemon that have .com in the names or trainer IDs. No, Verlisify, you're not allowed to say that about a full team of shiny Pokemon, that's not hacked. But then those people don't really seem that interested in Dynamax Adventures because they could just get a Machamp's Lugia and pretend it isn't hacked because it's in their game, so therefore it's okay. Also, I'm just going off of videos that I've made in the past. Generally, when you have all of the legendary Pokemon being made available in some way, that's going to be one of the most desirable pieces of content. My Ultra Wormhole guide did really well. My Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire Legendary guide is one of my most watched videos on the entire channel. So I thought it was just going to be one of those things like, yo, this is going to be a hype, fun thing to do. I don't know what happened. And then competitive. Now, I would understand if competitive doesn't get high percentages because people don't want to deal with Landorus. They're upset that Garchomp is coming back, and then all the legendary Pokemon are going to be usable. There's also a lot of fun things coming into competitive, so I thought this was going to be around 17-20% regardless. And over the last couple of years, we've seen the Pokemon community get consistently much more casual with less care for actually competing Pokemon how it's meant to be played. Now, idiots are going to be like, well, you're gatekeeping, but Pokemon at its core is objectively a competitive game. It's about beating up your friends and being the very best like no one ever was. It's all about making the strongest team, being a Pokemon trainer, and then becoming a master, and that all comes together in competitive. But it's 2020. We now have multiple everybody gets a trophy generations with Zoomers and crybaby millennials that can't handle their fifis getting hurt when they get styled on by a Japanese player in Pokeball tier. They don't have any ambition, they want everything handed to them, and they don't want to better themselves through hard work. So yes, I understand the decline of competitive Pokemon. They ignore the games for what they're for, and then they complain when the story isn't exactly what they wanted. It's kind of a mess right now. And then we have the 11% other, so let's go into the comments and see what that is about. Latios and Latios moveset update is the biggest thing for me. Also, new ball combos. Spicy, because yeah, now we have Kurt Balls and new Pokemon coming in. After that, the Galarian Birds are the most important. Of course, I consider most of this competitive oriented. Yeah, especially with the crazy things going on with the Latios and Latios movesets. I guess I'll wait to spoil that surprise when the Crown Tundra comes out. So like, comment, subscribe, notifications, get ready for the massive flood of Crown Tundra coverage. You're going to find the best stuff on YouTube right here on the Verlisify channel. But yeah, like that's a big thing about competitive. And that's also why I don't have new Pokemon here. Like maybe some people conflated new Pokemon with exploration, so that made the numbers higher. But I kind of saw it with competitive. Because what's the point of your favorite Pokemon returning if you don't get to use it at all? It's like a little bit of story, and then it just sits in your box, and you're happy that it's in Pokemon Sword and Shield rotting instead of Pokemon Home rotting. As they tweet hashtag bring back national decks of the Pokemon Company because they're still upset for completely invalid reasons. But yeah, like I thought competitive was mostly going to tie in with the new Pokemon, and that would push up the numbers a bit, or at least not skew it this much. And maybe some people put other since they didn't see favorite Pokemon returning or returning Pokemon there. So yeah, that's going to be a pretty big one right here. And this is what I was talking about. Even with Landorus and some of the other garbage that's coming in, still a reduced dex that does open up for some fun strategies And then there's still a lot of hype and exploration and like experimentation that's going to be happening. So I don't care. I'm excited about everything the Crown Tundra has to offer, especially the Galarian Star Tournament. And that's what I was expecting for other. You know, I even said right here, please comment other since I can't think of other things. Star Tournament, maybe quality of life like the ability capsule or the hidden ability capsule. But I don't know what else people are expecting. So yeah, it's like Galarian Star Tournament. I know there's some people that want to team up with Marnie and then be able to live out some kind of happy fantasy and be just a Pokemon baller champion. I'm not like super excited for the Galarian Star Tournament unless the rewards are awesome. But yeah, some people are actually hyped for it and they just love everything about it. Good on you, Josh. At the moment, not competitive since it's about to be flooded with unrestricted legendaries. I'm looking forward to the quality of life additions and just playing the story. It looks like this guy is such against the legendaries that he doesn't really care about the Dynamax adventures to even get them in the first place. And then it's like, what's left in the Crown Tundra? Like, playing it for just the story or mostly story? Like, the QOL, yeah, that's going to be some pretty cool stuff. But man, like, that's not really much to be excited for when we start whittling away at the Crown Tundra like that. Honestly, just more Pokemon to walk around with. I guess that counts as other/returning Pokemon, but if you get the full value of the Crown Tundra just from having Pokemon follow you around and you think it's cool, don't let anybody dull your sparkle Riolu X195. If you think it's funny because Cryogonal's drifting around the snow, do you, man. I'm looking forward to all of it. I feel like I should put other though since it is an option. Couldn't decide, so I just put down exploration. There's going to be quite a few things to explore with in the Tundra. Alright, the exploration's still going to be fun, and I hope there's a lot to do with it, but I'm still surprised at like how high that number is. Yeah, I know a lot of people are going to be excited for it, but these two being top, that's still weird to me. I want to ride or fly Pokemon to come back. This isn't a wish list, even though I think that's what people are doing with the story. Exploration with friends seems to allow more fun than exploration with a story, personal, but for those who can't play with friends for whatever reason, I'm glad there's a story so they get maximum enjoyment too. I mean, yeah, there was a story with the Isle of Armor, so there's that. And I don't really think there is any exploration with friends. It's mostly going to be in Dynamax Adventures. And I guess like exploring with friends to do max raid battles of some of the returning Pokemon. But there's pretty much as many legendaries coming back as there are returning Pokemon in general. So like I said, big space, less new Pokemon, or less returning Pokemon. And I feel like that's going to clamp down on the exploration. I'm hyped for all the Crown Tundra because I'm a huge Pokemon fan and of course a Nintendo fan. Good on you, Gilbert. I just want my boy Dragonite. There we go. That's what I mean, like, why do you want your boy Dragonite? Like, having Dragonite follow you around and maybe, like, bringing one over from Pokemon Home to instantly bang out the story with, that sounds pretty cool, but anything beyond that, you know? Do you want your boy Dragonite for competitive, and that's why you're super excited? Or is it just Dragonite? Only thing that matters is Dragonite at this point. Stuff like that. Dynamax Adventures. Here we go. But that is because me and a couple of friends are planning on streaming once it launches. The three of us are also excited for the new ability capsule in addition of certain Pokemon. And this is what I was expecting. I was expecting that people are like, yo, Dynamax Adventures, but everything else is solid. Exploration for sure. New areas shown look great. And they do. The Crown Tundra looks amazing, and there's some like beautiful parts. There's a lot of like really intriguing parts with the tree and the Reggie caves, but again, it's like how much is in between all of that, and is it worth it? You know, if I have to stare at the same Pokemon I see in the base wild area in Galar for half of that, it doesn't really feel as exciting. But yeah, people are still putting exploration over competitive and Dynamax Adventures. Exploration, story, new Pokemon. I guess I could have also just put new Pokemon as well, but that kind of ties in with the story. And then returning Pokemon are kind of also seen as new Pokemon since they're new to Pokemon Sword and Shield. Got Jaden with the everything, new Pokemon and forms, of course. Why people go to story answer. The story of Pokemon is always the same. Catch Pokemon, beat them all, that's it. Then we got some other ones off screen. Lando and Xerneas look like any chance at fun is going to die. Again, don't blame people with competitive on that one. Laura saying, I'm excited for all of it, and then another person saying story. A lot less hype than I was expecting for Dynamax Adventures, or like some of the other features. Huh. And after reading all that, it makes me go back to wondering how many people know all the information in the Crown Tundra, because the data mine is what's making me a little dubious on the exploration, and people were already really upset with the Isle of Armor. So I still don't know why people are cheering for that so much. Did they see the trailers and now they're getting their hopes up beyond what is actually inside the game, and that's just setting them up for disappointment, which is also a trend that we've seen over the last couple of Pokemon games. Do they think that more Pokemon are coming back than we already know from the data mine? Are they expecting the National Dex? Are they expecting Mega Evolution? And they just kind of like conflating all these things into exploration. Or is it Absol's their favorite Pokemon, Absol's in, they can't wait to find Absol, therefore that's the only thing they care about? I don't know, it's kind of weird. Also, going to the Verlisify fan Discord, you can get in by becoming a member. It's all about that hidden ability capsule for me personally. And there's those that are like, yeah, I understand this one completely. Hidden ability capsule changes a ton of dynamics in the game. Snowballs in competitive, kind of the biggest thing, kind of the only thing to care about. Ignore the exploration because it might not be that great. Story, like I said, it's kind of whatever in Pokemon, but the hidden ability capsule, ooh, that's huge. So we got that fun stuff going on. Got some of the other features, Star Tournament, Ability Patch, Legendary Pokemon. There's also gonna be like new outfits and stuff, but that really isn't shown on the website yet. Either way, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Interesting look at what people are excited for in the Crown Tundra. Hope you all have a nice day. Thank you very much for watching.